Hello. You probably clicked on this video to learn how to play claw, one of the most advanced controller techniques in the entirety of controller history. The controller technique used by pros such as Flea, lite, and the list just goes on and on. All of these insane players play claw. You may be wondering, how do I either A, make the initial switch to claw, or B, how do I improve at claw to become as good as the pros? I am by no means a pro, but I've played claw for over 8 months and I've gone through all the struggles and all the mistakes a beginner can make, and I'm here to prevent you guys from getting them. Before I start this video, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, and if you want to support me that one bit further, make sure to use code CODIUM in the item shop. If there's no support or creator code in there, make sure to use a code even if it isn't mine. But with that being said, let's get right on with the video, guys. I am going to be using a hand cam for the rest of this video so that you guys can get the most information possible from this claw guide. I have the two controllers most players use. So here we have the Nintendo Switch controller, which is the same button layout that the Xbox controller has. And here I have the PS4 controller. It's just a standard one, it has no back paddles. I'm going to be giving you guys tips and tricks on how to improve with these controllers. So firstly, and this is a must-have, it is to rotate your wrist whilst playing. It is a known factor in the claw community, yet if you're new to claw, this is 100% what you need to do to prevent injury. It will feel uncomfortable, however it is necessary to not get injuries such as RSI in the future. When you're playing normally, so non-claw, your wrist shall be like this. And if you're going to play claw like that, it's going to be really tight against your fingers, and that can cause injuries and make you not want to play claw. But if you just rotate your wrist like this, you have the full range of motion and you can reach all the buttons that you need to in a certain space. So if you're going to do that, and especially that even with this, you've got to rotate your wrist with double claw as well to make sure that you have the full range of motion. I think that switching to claw is what every controller player should do, since with your thumb always on the joystick, it can make your aim and general movement insane. This is not just for Fortnite though, it can be for games such as COD, Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege. You get the point. If you are a controller player, this is what you need and it's completely free. The only time I would not recommend claw is if you have paddles like these. Onto some tips and tricks. Binds. Yes, most people when they switch to claw will keep their old binds. Yeah, I'll disagree with this. Keeping your old binds will make it more tempting to go back to them. So I recommend, if you edited with left, right stick, or even circle, or A if you're on a Switch controller, it's the best thing you can do to change this. Personally, what I switched to was triangle, or X on the Nintendo Switch controller to edit, but it's really up to you. If you have the PS4 or PS5 controller, you can edit with either the D-pad or the touchpad. If you're doing double claw, the D-pad's probably the best to edit with, and if you're doing single claw, touchpad or triangle is easily one of the best, but it's all up to you really. When you switch, you must keep all other binds the same because it's difficult enough to learn claw by itself, but to learn even more new binds other than the ones that you're using for claw, such as changing your edit binds, will be extremely confusing against your muscle memory. Something that a lot of people I know that switched to claw did was either higher or lower their sense. So say if your sense is 1.7 and 1.9, I'd recommend turning down to 1.7 for build and 1.5 for edit. This makes adjusting the claw much easier, since it kind of tricks your brain into thinking the reason you're bad is due to your sense. Quick disclaimer before we carry on, 90% of people who switch to claw can't even build within the first 2 days, so expect to be a bot yourself. Also, you guys should try not to play stiff, since you have the entire motion of using this without having to take your thumb off of here. And playing before, I was super stiff. One of the main reasons I improved so fast was due to using the full range of motion of my joystick. Most people, including myself, will switch to claw on their own. This is an issue since motivation was low, and at most times I just felt like quitting. But you guys don't have to. If you have a friend that you know has just switched to keyboard and mouse, or claw as well, this is a perfect opportunity for you to play with them on 1v1. Since you'll both be bad, it's less stressful playing. However, if you don't have any friends who are switching, you can always join my stream, since I've just switched to these paddles and motion for Nintendo Switches, which is where you move your controller like in line and it moves in game. I'm most definitely a complete noob at the game. My Twitch is twitch.tv/thecoding. If you do want to hop by since I'm trying to stream more, it's highly appreciated. With that being said, on to the next trip. Quick tip, I used to use a control freak, but it literally murdered my right hand, so I didn't use it. But if you are comfortable with using it, then feel free. Yeah, I would not recommend it, purely because it's just so, like, the angle is like that much, and then it just doesn't feel natural for me. Quick tip, holding on to the Nintendo Switch controller when I switched to claw originally, it was really, really uncomfortable because I was holding it loosely, and I was just kind of afraid that my wrist was going to get all strained up if I held it tightly. Yeah, I kind of found out that you can actually kind of grip it quite tightly using your wrists, and it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, holding it loosely can actually prevent your progression, since if you're just holding it like this, it feels loose, and then the muscle memory is almost defeated, if you know what I mean. I just want to say, guys, the first couple weeks are going to be easily the most difficult. For me, it was around about after 7 days that I got used to claw, and I almost got better than I was before claw. I do have a progression video coming out shortly, so if you do want to see that, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. I used to play normal for around about 7 months before I switched to right hand claw. After I did switch to right hand claw, however, it took me only a week to become better than my non-claw self. If you know what I'm saying, maybe it is kind of time for you guys to switch to claw, you know? After only 1 week, I became into the controller demon. I'm going to put some maps on the screens that I'm currently using to get used to these bad boys on my back. These maps are ones such as Raider's Peace Control map, Phase Flea's edit course. There are just many others, you know. I'd recommend using these maps for maybe around about an hour every single day, and then just playing normally for the rest, just playing whether it be zone wars or whether it be pub matches. And personally, I wouldn't go into arena until around about a week after you first started playing claw, purely because you're going to get even more frustrated than you originally are, and frustration is the last thing that you guys want when switching to claw. Before I end this video, I have 2 stretches for you guys so that you do not get injuries such as RSI. So the first one is where you go like this, and then you just bring your muscles down whilst keeping your elbows in the same place. This will build up strength, and it kind of does look like you're praying, I'm not going to lie. And then another one is just bending your fingers back. This will give you strength within your fingers, and when playing claw, like after a session of playing claw, after playing claw, doing them stretches for maybe 2 to 3 minutes can help your claw career succeed. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. I've got a claw progression coming out shortly. If it is out, it will be here, and if not, make sure to check out my how to improve on the Nintendo Switch video, which is just up there. Peace.